Before the late 1990s, reading among children had dropped precipitously. The National Endowment for the Arts was more than a little concerned, as adult reading rates had dropped 10 percentage points in a single decade. However, the slump was a lot worse for teens and early adults. Then along came Harry Potter. Suddenly, 6 out of 10 children changed their minds about reading. My nieces, for example, worked their way through 4,224 pages of Harry Potter. And then they went on to the Percy Jackson series. While Harry Potter sold hundreds of millions of books, the Percy Jackson series sold a staggering 35 million copies. And then, just as suddenly, reading dried up. Why? Did the kids suddenly hate reading again? No, that's not the case at all. Kids expressly stated that the reason they were reading much more was because they started with Harry Potter. 65% also said that they were doing better at school since reading the books. So why did the reading decline all of a sudden? The answer is in school buses. Think of how you and I went to school as kids. We didn't clamber into a giant gas-guzzling SUV. Instead, at a particular time, we'd wave goodbye to our parents, we'd walk down, and we'd get to the bus stop. In 2022, over half of the students took a private car to school. In countries where cars are not the primary mode of transport, you'll find kids and their parents clambering onto motorcycles. Yes, there are many reasons why people can't take the bus. These include budget cuts, driver shortages, other factors. But the biggest reason is remarkably linked to Harry Potter. Kids stopped reading as much because their friends stopped doing so. If you're the only one in school with a load of books, you're considered weird. As humans, we're all looking for external cues. If all the parents are taking their kids to school by car, maybe we should too. In a world where parents are overworked, they spend about 2 hours a day getting kids to and from school. The environment decides what we need to do. Otherwise, you and me, we're quickly excommunicated. And this is why you can't convince a 12-year-old that a smartphone isn't crucial. And you sure as hell can't convince parents that the school bus makes sense. They take their cues from the outside world. We think that we make our own decisions, and we do, but it's a lot less than you'd expect. Take almost anyone who drives in a country like India, and you will find that they honk the horn a lot while driving. Even on empty roads, the horn is used endlessly. You put them on a plane, and let's say that very person lands in Bangkok. Then he rents a car. The first time he honks, he gets stares from other motorists. The second time, it's a similar set of stares. Within a matter of streets, that person's behavior radically changes. You put them back on a plane, and when they go back to their hometown, the honking takes hold again. Your environment plays a much bigger role than you give it credit for. We tend to find our comfort in books on how to change your habits, yet we can only make temporary fixes. The people who change their behavior almost overnight tend to be in a different environment. Just deciding that you'll go to bed early isn't going to help you if you live in a country that sleeps late. Kiwis, Australians, even Japanese will have finished their meals by 6 p.m. Italians, Greeks, Spaniards, Indians, and much of Asia, they'll still be snacking. So if everyone around you is still up, you're pretty much like the only kid in school without a smartphone. You are the crazy one. Often, you don't even have to go outdoors because an internal environment can prevent you from going ahead with your plan. Maybe you've decided you need to sleep early. However, if your partner sleeps late, there is little point in you going to bed early because you're likely to be disturbed. An internal environment can dominate your behavior just as easily. Your environment isn't just the city or culture you live in. It's your desk, your phone screen, your playlist, the people in your chat window. Each one of them is quietly shaping your behavior. We believe that grit, discipline, willpower, that's what we need to drive change. But even the most determined person struggles when the environment is working against them. But you can take this environment and you can make it to work in your favor. Just as kids stopped reading when the cues disappeared, we can deliberately design cues back into our lives. You leave the book on the pillow, you keep the phone in another room, you sit next to people doing the things that you want to do. And that's when the environment shapes things for your benefit. Environment plays an outsized role, but only if there's some design behind it. When I joined a French course last December, the environment looked perfect. Real people, real energy, a proper classroom. But it was chaos in disguise. There was no sequence, no accountability, no design. Yet, when you encounter a well-designed environment, everyone benefits. People stop honking, they start reading, they go to bed earlier, and they do things that they know are beneficial to their needs. We like to think that change happens from the inside out, that if we shift our mindset, our world will follow. But most lasting change happens from the outside in. The right environment shapes our attention, and attention shapes our reality. Without design, the environment is just noise. With design, it becomes a silent teacher. And that brings us to the end of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in 5000bc.com. Bye for now. Still listening? We had neighbors, we still have neighbors, and they moved in from Spain. The kids used to go to school every single day, and they'd walk to school, and sometimes the parents would walk to school with them. When they moved to New Zealand, the bus stop was at the top of the hill. So they did what they did in Spain. They'd walk up the road to the bus stop. Guess how long that lasted? A few weeks. They looked at all the other parents driving the kids just up the hill, probably 700 meters, and they did the same. And now we see the cars zooming up and down. Yeah, with the kids in tow being taken to the bus stop. So that's how environment changes. It doesn't matter where you live and what you do and how long you've done something. You get yourself in a different environment, and you become a product of your environment. So yeah.